today's headlines, these are the upcoming news stories.
Kenya being a democratic country, its way of life entirely depends on its economy and politics, whereby politicians are the newsmakers of the country, but where are they given so much credit when all they do is talk and steal? President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, deploys U.S. military to Chicago to arrest immigrants in the streets of Chicago. Software engineer and systems analyst Josh Junon, also known as Kicks, NPM account hacked by malicious malware to steal developers' cryptocurrency wallets soon resolved. And disaster in central Gaza as families have nowhere to sleep or live.
Our newsroom. My name is Ashat Kashar and I welcome you to today's news stories in Kenya and around the world. Join me on Twitter at @Kashar and I'll be with you for the next 25 minutes. Thank you for joining us. This is the Inside Hour newsroom. You can join the conversation on our social media handles on Facebook at the Inside Hour, Twitter or X at Inside Hour, and the hashtag trend Inside Hour now. Starting off our top story, our reporter Anas Jenga interviewed Mr. Anthony Okumu about the growing gap between Kenyan citizens and politicians, and this is what he said. What do you think, Anas? Are the people of Kenya at fault for voting for political leaders with no good manifesto but their own selfish gains?
I don't think the blame can really rest on the shoulders of the people of Kenya. I think this was honestly a situation where the people of Kenya were shortchanged. Because if you remember rightly in 2022, when President Ruto's regime was taking over, one of the biggest and chief things that they centered their campaign around was the bottom-up economic transformation agenda rather, and they culminated all of that in their Kenya Kwanza manifesto, which they launched right before the election, and even did a public speaking forum with people to help them understand. And the basic premise of their bottom-up economic transformation agenda was to take everyday normal mwananchi and transform their lives, especially from medium and small-scale enterprise families, and just give them access to capital, reduce the amount of regulation they need so that they can do business and thrive in Kenya. But that has yet to be achieved because what happened is the political class we have currently is morally bankrupt.
And what can we do different to change this perspective?
The only thing we can do different is voting right in 2027, and that will begin with civic education, people understanding that a leader does not only have to have a good manifesto, but also has to have the moral backbone to be able to enforce that manifesto. That integrity is a moral issue and not necessarily a political concept issue. I also think we need to move our politics from a political cocoon and political patronage sort of politics to more ideological politics. What you believe in, what are the values you hold, what are the values your parties espouse. But currently, even the parties that exist do not really have that sense of ideological backing, but instead are usually political affiliations and marriages that just help to get people in power and are vehicles to win the election. So in short, I think that's what we can do as Kenyans to ensure that in the coming election and in the coming 5-year term, we have the right people leading Kenya and we hopefully can get out of the mess we are in. Yes.
Do you think Kenya or your community is becoming more divided socially?
Socially, yeah, because you see, you can always see the divisions between the social classes, as in the way they live. They don't live even together, and then you can see how they live the lavish lives versus those who are in lower social classes. They live a bad life, yeah, and so many other factors.
Okay, what about you, Nyalwal?
Okay, let's just start with the political side. Even if you can see at the moment, we have two different regions. we have the regions of those in power and those who are not in power. That's the first thing. The second thing about the division, let's talk about again on the field of politics. We have those people who are spying for politics and those who are there. If you see the bills that are being passed in the houses, before a politician gets into space, there's always together with the Mwananchi. But when they get there, the bills that they are passing through is not in the interest of the Mwananchi, because check on the financial year, the 2024 financial year, that brought a lot of Gen Z protest. Yeah, so it is not there.
Okay. What do you think is causing people to be more divided today?
First of all, it's politics. Secondly, it's education, because it's very difficult to get someone from campus interacting with someone who somehow dropped in primary. Let's say, for instance, if you check at the parliament, there's always a big gap between Babu Win and an MP, like, for example, I'm sorry to say, but Oscar Sodi. You always see it. Yeah.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, other than the politics and education, also things to do with the tribe, yeah, and gender also sometimes. Yeah, mostly those are mostly affect they cause divisions.
So what do you think is making people more divided today socially?
Money. People have ego. When they have ego, there is money. And when they feel like they've got something, like something as simple as a smartphone, an iPhone or something, they'll feel above someone else. Yet you can lose that. And when you lose it, you will just be as normal as everyone else. People have ego. People have ego.
What do you think is causing people to be more divided today?
I think today is about our today's economy. Since our money is being weakened to the dollar, and also there is corruption, and also there is loss of jobs, which would like to make Kenyans suffer and to do other criminal activities.
Live studio with me is Mr. Walter Nalwa, a political analyst and former DC University president and governor.
Many leaders, when they get the power, they forget the good consumed by the power and the influence they have over their people. You will find that there are those who have come, leaders who have come from very deplorable backgrounds and have ended up in the top or in a political office. But these leaders tend to forget immediately and assume that they worked hard, despite the fact that the people trusted him to go there and lead them. Since he or she can resonate with their issues, they easily forget. And it's true, we forget very fast. And we leave our people. So it's 100% true. They forget that the people who voted them in the quest for their own interests. Question is key. It plays a very key role, because for any decision to be made, the views and the opinions of the people who are being governed have to have a say. For instance, for the case of the finance bill or Lands Act or a referendum when needed, it's the people. The government is for the people, not for the government. So it's for the people, by the people, and for the people. So in one way or another, public participation is key, so that the government implements ideas that are proposed by the people from the industry, because they're the ones who face the challenges, and they're the ones who know the solutions that can best deal with the challenges that they encounter in a day-to-day life. And so lack of it, participation, of course, it towards leads to the protests that we see in town or across. It's the lack of participation or inclusivity in decision making is what is caused by the lack of public participation. In the presence of media, any leader cannot easily run away from what they promised or they said they're going to deliver when elected into office. the mainstream media or media in general is a very key factor in accountability and transparency. So any leader out there knows that I say this or I do this, I know that the people know, and one day or one time I'll be held accountable by it. So you might have individual social media or the mainstream media, but all in all, they play a key role in shaping the politics of Kenya, even Africa, globally. For Kenyan context, I don't think there is a huge gap between the connection of the two, because in the current era, leaders, politicians, or whichever institutions know that the power is with the people. And this is to contextualize it to what has happened in the past 5 or 10 years, or ever since the promulgation of the new constitution, that leaders know this constitution is for the people. So they have to always be in touch with them for them to be able to lead them. And Kenyans understand what the constitution says, what it stipulates article by article, and it's easy for them to manage their leaders. So it's no huge gap, because they can easily they cannot run away with it. Economic inequality means that there are Kenyans who are living from hand to mouth, and there are those who are throwing food, and there are those who are dishing out money. There are those who have politicians have like 3 homes. Have one home in Nairobi, another one in the village, another one in any other place, fancy place of my choice. So the inequality creates a very huge gap between those. So it creates an impression that if you don't have money, you don't have wealth, you can't be in the political space. So thereby, you find that most of the people contesting for the political seats are people, one, they're either ambitious, which is a very low percentage compared to those who are wealthy or have money that are going for the seats. Why do they go for these seats? They go for these seats because they want to protect their wealth. Because while you're in government, you have the power to protect your wealth. So nobody will come and interfere with your businesses, people.
Thank you for staying tuned in. During international, United States of America President Donald Trump deploys United States military to arrest immigrants in the streets of Chicago, attending different opinions from both Chicago mayor and Illinois governor Ronald Jefferson and J.B. Pritzker. Join the conversation on Twitter at Ekashero. Rafael Mutuku reports.
Thank you, Antoinette. The mayor of Chicago, Brandon Jameson, called the deployment a federal invasion.
No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago.
On Monday, 6th of October, Chicago Mayor and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker sued Donald Trump, asking the judge to stop President Donald Trump from sending hundreds of National Guards, groups from Illinois, Texas, and America's third largest city.
Let me be clear. Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities.
Chicago will not be used as a political prop. Chicago will not be intimidated, and we will not be silent.
As you have seen in the videos, the United States of American President Donald Trump received critics from his colleagues, Chicago Mayor and the Illinois Governor, of his abrupt military deployment without conversing with the Americans nor his colleagues. Has it become a norm where political leaders make decisions without consulting with the public? Could this be a new government policy all around the world? Tell us your opinions on Twitter, Insight Hour Now. I was your reporter, Rafael Mutuku, taking you back on studio.
Thank you for staying tuned in. Still on the international news story, live on studio with me is Mr. John Doe, a political analyst.
Personally, I feel like the people in offices currently, like us who are in office right now, we should learn on how to live humbly. Because when you start showing your people that you're better than them, they're not going to support you. Because this is a democratic country, and you can't expect people to see you as somebody in a monarchy. So When us as politicians, us as leaders, we learn how to humble ourselves, I think everything is just gonna be okay. When we are coming to you to ask you for positions, stop asking us for money. Because that is where the problem starts. When I come to campaign on the ground, now wewe sasa unataka kuanza kuniomba pesa. You see, when I come into office, I will feel like I am entitled to getting that money back. If I came to you and I use 15 million on you people on the ground, I'll come back and steal your money. You understand?
Yeah.
So it starts from the people. When you say no to taking money from politicians, then that is where we start working. Because now we can say, tulikata kuchukua pesa yenu, so why are you stealing our money? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is the best place to start from. If we can stop giving money to the people when campaigning. You bring your agenda, you give your manifesto, then from there is where you start working from. Lakini sasa hii maneno ingine ati unapatia na pesa kidogo nunue kura ipande ingine, we cannot work like that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there is a gap between politicians and citizens, which is okay. But then the aspect of corruption and the point where we want to show that we're better than the citizens, that is where the problem comes. Because once you start showing your people that you're better than them, they will revolt against you. Because of what? They're the ones who placed you in that office. And you'll notice most of the times that when politicians do campaigns is when wanamaliza term yao. It's called public manipulation.
Yeah.
I'm in office, I live my life at the top. Then when it comes 1 year to elections or 2 years to elections, you start seeing me around. Naanza kutembea kwa ground, kidogo nafanya hivi, kidogo nimejenga shade ya watu pikipiki. I'm doing bare minimum just to show you.
Yeah.
Because I know the public, all they want is money. Inakuja vijana wawili watatu 200. So the youths are so used to, not the youths, every single citizen is so used to being given 200 and they're forgetting they should be having development. Yeah. The only time they realize they need development is these 3 years yenye nakwanga hapa ya watu kufanya kazi, which nobody is doing work. 3 years narudisha pesa yangu kufanya campaign. Hiyo miaka 2 ingine naiba kidogo, natengeneza barabara 2 3 na mwaga taa, maisha yanaendelea. You get it? So it's a cycle that never ends. Stop showing the people that you have more money than them. Stop living like you've already made it.
Mm-hmm.
Your leaders, you need to show them that you get what you need to show them that you understand the situations they're in, because you need to find a way that you can have an emotional connection with your people. They don't need to see you as a god. It's not monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need kings. We need leaders. It's democracy. You're representing the people. You work for the people. Their tax is paying you. Their tax is keeping you in that office. So you need to understand as a person that if I'm sitting here, you guys, I need to show you a certain level of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I respect you, you will respect me. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So the best thing leaders should do, that is where they need to start. Because psychologically, when people have rejected you, there is no development. Utajenga watabomoa. Because what benefit does it give you when you build something, then they come and burn it down because of strikes?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help you. So it's them to wake up and say, hey, me as a leader, you know what? I'm not going to show you guys that I have it all. I have 5 vehicles. You're never going to see them. You understand?
Yeah.
I've already made it. You'll never see that money. I'll buy the cheapest thing and walk around with it. If I buy an expensive one, it stays in the house. Because of what? It's tax money.
Mm-hmm. So
that people can stop feeling the pain of you're wasting our money. Now from there, people will be motivated to work. Kenyans are hard workers. That is the truth.
Yeah.
No matter what economic state you'll be in, people will still feed themselves. They still stay in their houses. Their kids will still go to school. They will survive.
Thank you so much, Mr. John, for your time and detailed information. Coming up next, have you fallen victim of a cyber attack? Over 2,000 cyber attacks are reported daily, and the Visit Hour has one just for you. Stay tuned to not miss out. Welcome back. For those who are joining us, welcome. Our social media handles are Facebook at the Eastside Hour, Twitter or X at Eastside Hour, and the hashtag Eastside Hour now. Or talk to me on Twitter at Ekasharo. Software engineer Just Junon, also known as Kix, fell victim of cyber attacks on September 8th when his NPM account was attacked by malicious malware and a crypto clipper. Insight Hour correspondent Miss CD with the details.
Thank you so much, Antoinette. On the morning of 8 September, Josh Janon, also known as Kix, received an email impersonated as an address where his JavaScript libraries were compromised using his NPM account. NPM account refers to a user account platform used by developers to share, install, and manage JavaScript packages, which is a code library or tools. The action led to a supply chain attack of all cryptocurrency wallets by an injected malware known as CryptoClipper, aimed at stealing developers' cryptocurrency, which was soon resolved by changing unsafe codes to safer codes. CryptoClipper is a hidden virus that changes safer codes to unsafe codes, leading to a phishing attack.
CD, how long did the attack last before it was resolved by NPM maintainers?
Most reports say 1 to 3 hours, while others 2 to 2.5 hours.
Within the same timeline, how much did the hackers steal?
The approximate range is from as little as $50, but blockchain analytics reported by Cybersecurity traced about $1,027 linked to attacker addresses, as other security write-ups and corporate blogs counted amounts in the $400 to $500 range.
So approximately 6,600 Kenyan shillings to 102,000 Kenyan. That is a lot of money solely in a 2-hour duration window. What if it was not resolved sooner? Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Antoinette. My name is Sidi Omari.
Do you think young people are more at risk of cybercrime? If yes, why?
Yes, people are a very major risk of cybercrime today, especially the evolution of AI. It is really come to help the cybercriminals to hack people today. So cyber criminals are really evolving with the technology. We are seeing the evolution of AI, more tech computers are being created specifically for that purpose. So we are really becoming more and more prone, especially because we are becoming more technologically knowledgeable about cybercrime. So yeah, it is increasing.
Okay, and do you think social media apps are safe?
Yes, to some extent, yes, but not. I don't believe they are 100% safe, because we have things such as people are still complaining that they're being hacked, their Instagram accounts, their Facebook accounts. But the companies today, they are really trying as much as possible to prevent cybercrime from taking place. A good example is the WhatsApp. You can see communication is being encrypted so that they cannot really intercept communication from one person to another. So yeah, they're really trying as much as possible to becoming more and more safer, and they're employing people who can be able to prevent cybercrime from taking place.
Okay, thank you. So first you're going to introduce yourself. What's your major and what year you're in?
My name is Zuhura Bilal, a communication student, 3.2 student. Yes.
Okay, Zuri, have you ever interacted with an AI tool like ChatGPT, and how was the experience?
I have interacted with AI tools because they help us doing with assignments, give us ideas, and also at some point I used AI as my friend, giving me ideas. As a journalist, you find they give me ideas, stories, and also do research about it. And interacting with it, it was so nice because it gives you what you want to hear. Yes, it does it. If you tell it, I love green, it will say yes. What about blue? Yes, blue is also okay, you see. Yeah, that is how it does.
What is the first thing that you think of when you hear AI?
Artificial intelligence. I think of the apps and also how it is used. Yes, I just think of the apps and the impact that it has put on us. Yes.
Okay. Do you think misinformation is a big problem in Kenya today? If yes, why?
Misinformation is a really big problem today because you find a citizen journalism, especially on TikTok, Instagram, you find so many people acting as journalists, though they are not certified journalists. They give information that is not verified, and it can cause defamation and bring trouble to people.
Do you think social media apps are safe?
For me, they're not safe. The reason being, social media apps, most of them have the ads. Let's say for those who watch football, mostly the apps that they use to watch football, they have the ads that are not good for children, let's say for instance, if you sit in your house, you connect your TV with your phone, you have to watch it. Then kidogo, you see the ad that comes. It's either for alcohol, which is not good for our consumption, and also we have the ads for sex tapes. And on the other side, on the apps are nowadays easily hacked compared to other things, because apps are made by human beings, and with us, whatever we do, we are not perfect. So it is very easily to get in touch with them.
Still on cybersecurity, I would like to welcome cybersecurity analyst Maurice Cello, an alumni from University of Nairobi and a software engineer. Welcome, Mr. Maurice.
Hi, my name is Maurice Cello. I am a cybersecurity analyst. I have a background in computer science and immediately work around security and software.
So what exactly is cybersecurity for those who may not understand?
So I like to phrase cybersecurity as involving securing digital information, be it data, be it systems, be it financial data as well. Ideally, everything around digital information.
How serious are cyber threats today, especially for ordinary users and not just big companies?
I think, especially with how sophisticated cyber threats have become, it's very, very crucial. The threat is very real. Ideally, the weakest link in the cybersecurity chain is the human link. Ideally, with attacks like social engineering, most humans ideally are more susceptible to cyber attacks than, I'd say, 10 years ago. Yeah.
Could you please explain what a crypto clipper is for those who do not know what it is, and how harmful is it to one's personal data?
So a crypto clipper is a form of malware where it sits silently in your computer. Then it ideally listens for a clipboard. So once you, for example, copy a cryptocurrency address, and then once you try, now say you're trying to send funds to an address, if you're inattentive, you end up pasting the attacker's address, and because cryptocurrency transactions are irreversible, you end up sending money to someone you are not aware of.
On to our last developing story. Families in central Gaza are internally displaced in their own country because of bombed buildings, as others are destroyed. Please join the conversation on social media, in Twitter at Insight Hour Now, or send me a tweet on Twitter or X at Ekashiro. The Insight Hour correspondent Wisdom again with the details.
Thank you once again, Antoinette. So the ongoing wars in central Gaza and especially Palestine, where most families are deeply affected and sleep in unsheltered spaces, while others live in unstable ruins, fearing for their own life. This is because of lack of security and shelter. Majority move from place to place, seeking a less troubled space, whereby, according to one of the families said, each space they move to or settle in is worse than the previous one that they'd come from.
Do you think ordinary citizens have a role in humanitarian crisis, like in the case for the Palestinian war, where families are being displaced because of the bomb attacks from neighboring countries, from their enemies like Jerusalem? So what role do ordinary citizens have on the humanitarian crisis currently in Palestinian?
Okay, so that's a tricky question. In terms of Palestine, like, would you say the nationals of the citizens of Palestine, or do you mean people at a global stage?
People at the global stage, what are we doing in that scenario? What are we doing to help them?
So first and foremost, Africa should stay out of these matters in regards to Palestine and Israel. Okay, human life is important and it should be protected. But why should we look at Palestine when we have countries such as Congo right here? We have countries such as Tanzania. Why not look at why Tanzania and Kenya is having wars? Like, why our president talking to each other in such undiplomatic manners, what is brewing in East Africa. Like, let us focus on that before we start focusing on Palestine. Now, ask me what Palestinians should do about their state. Now, Palestinians brought it upon themselves. I'm sorry, but we need war to stop war. That's what I believe. So Palestinians brought it upon themselves. So let them just rebuild. I mean, people have done it before. So let them just do it. Pole pole. They will get there by the end of the day. Yes. And Israel, yes, let them continue rebuilding as well. They were attacked. They attacked back to protect themselves. So yeah, they're also trying to build themselves up. They're trying to protect themselves. If you look at them, they're very small countries surrounded by very big enemies. So yeah, I'm still vouching for Israel. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
With me is NGO representative with a bachelor's degree in logistics and planning, who will share his experience as an NGO representative.
Introduce yourself, your education background, how you ended up in UN, and how it went for you. Yeah.
Okay, it's my pleasure to be here and glad to participate in such an occasion and event. My name is William Bongo, and it's been a road that has been tough but very fruitful to me. Actually, with the United Nations, we deal with the Department of Peacekeeping Operations, deployed in vulnerable areas to be able to make a change and give courage to those who don't have anyone to support them or anywhere to go. So actually it's a peacekeeping operations because we deal mostly with military disengagements, military capacity building, and part of civilian integration. So this has led me to various places like Afghanistan, Liberia, DRC, Kenya, our country, and also Somalia. And just came back from Mali.
What about your education background? How you ended up in UN?
Actually, with my education background, I started primary school in Kenya, then went to high school also in Kenya, and I ended up being called in Liverpool University, which I had to pursue my master's degree, up to my master's degree in logistics and operational management.
Okay, thank you. Families in Gaza are currently living in extraordinary struggles. How is the United Nations coping with it, or the NGO organization coping with it, especially for the women and the children?
Actually, conflicts are brought about within people that disagree in relation towards governance or tribal or ethnic, and maybe also being looked down upon as humanity capacities. What I can say is actually these are conflicts, they are not war. Because war relates to when different sovereign countries decide to go parallel towards an agreement that is there, or in capacity of thinking that we tend to look at, they have taken part of our country, which is a boundary, and those are conflicts of country to country, which is termed as a war. But internal displacement and internal conflicts, these are brought about with people who basically, in a term that I can try to speak out, is getting IDPs, internal displacement people, because of the malice between either ethnics or superiority in trying to tarnish government's reputation in how they lead, because it's actually no one is perfect in the world, but people tend not to be satisfied when they feel that they are being corrected or aligned in an area that will be suitable for each and every person.
So it's an ethnic-based conflict that's happening in Southern.
Okay, it can. Why I stated ethnic because the most that actually ever been known was the one in Rwanda and Burundi, which was ethnical because another tribe thought that is superior than the other one. So they had to create animosity on wanting to find out who can really be above the other. But normally with these other conflicts, it's usually about power, where you find that there's an uprising group that decides, okay, we really don't like or appreciate so-and-so's governance. Why don't we team up and try to find how best we can add the value that we think we are able to.
When you need a partner committed to your vision, agents who are realtors are here for it. Here with market expertise that makes a difference. Here for it all, because that's who we are.
Thank you for staying with me. This was the Insight Hour newsreel. Follow us on social media and on Facebook at the Insight Hour, Twitter on X at Insight Hour, and the hashtag Insight Hour now. Leave down your like and comments.